Hello everyone, my name is Jakub. Thank you very much for having us. My Polish is not that good, so I'm going to talk in English. I hope that's all right. And yeah, me and Katka, we are representing here today fairly new climate initiative called KLIMATU, which can be loosely translated as Climate Needs You. It started in September of 2020. That was the second pandemic wave in Slovakia, as a very informal initiative with the aim to bring attention from the pandemic, or still being within the pandemic, back to the environmental crisis that we're facing and will face for next decades, maybe hundreds of years. And we have quickly become, well, the very small amount of time we started to engaging ourselves, one of the biggest online petitions for environmental causes in Slovakia. So throughout around 3 weeks, we have gathered over 120,000 signatures online, with the aim to influence Slovak Parliament to declare climate emergency in Slovakia and adopt more ambitious and more specific climate targets and climate policies, which we felt at the time and still feeling are really lacking. After the petition was gathered and we submitted it to Parliament, there was a huge debate around it. Unfortunately, at the end, the Parliament did not adopt our demands, which left us a little bit thinking about the next steps. Throughout the online campaign, it was a really massive online campaign for the first petition. We have reached as a brand, as KLIMATU hashtag, almost half of Slovakia, so roughly 2.5 million people. And we realized that okay, this is actually what we have. We have a brand that, in the context of climate crisis or environmental issues in Slovakia, is very known by the vast public. We are not an established organization, but we have a huge influence over people. So there was a natural question that how should we continue to work with this reach that we have at our disposal. So with another attempt last September 2021, we have launched another petition. This one we're still gathering signatures for it, more specific goals. It's almost 6 pages in length, and we are basically asking Slovak government to create a plan how Slovakia wants to reach its climate neutrality by 2050. We have a very expertly prepared, detailed outline of what will be the steps of our country in order to get to the target we need to get in to prevent any more heating that could be catastrophic. And while launching this petition, we're starting to talk about the possible ways how we could engage more citizens in a more active way, and how to start forming actually a public movement, not only an online petition where people usually sign their names and that's it for them. So something that's actually more active, more vivid, can be engaged, can be, especially in certain situations that we need that, can be mobilized. So therefore, we see citizens' engagement as a crucial part of our efforts to tackle climate crisis. We think that we need to move beyond the responsible consumer thinking that is very much present nowadays, especially because of big companies, and start to talk and find a way how to become more active citizens. Because we see a climate crisis not only as an environmental issue, but especially as a social, economic, and political issue. And tackling this problem will require massive social changes in the way we are living our lives right now. And while tackling climate crisis, it should also bring, loosely saying, a better world. So we really think that active citizenship is a crucial part of us realizing that this is not only a problem of nature, it's a problem of us as a society. Therefore, one of our current strategy is to find tools, or focus on finding tools that help us reach, activate, and especially engage more and more people in the climate fight. Therefore, essentially, we are figuring out how to educate and support public to become more active as citizens, which is something that is historically lacking in our educational system. After the 89, after the fall of the Russian regime, we are a pretty young democracy, and we did not actually start teaching kids how to be democratic or how to participate in democracy. We have to start taking care of it. So we have it, we can vote, but really there is a huge lack of what other activities democracy offers for citizens in order for it to be healthy, in order to be vibrant, and in order to actually fulfill the needs of the society. So we are trying to connect climate crisis with this aspect of becoming more engaged as a citizen, where people can actually realize that we have tools at our disposal, how we can influence the system outside of the voting realm. And so how we are doing that? First of all, we try to focus on new, modern, and attractive communication, especially on social media with young people, but also other people. I think nowadays everyone is on social media. Most of us are on social media. Of course, mainstream media, but also as well as alternative channels. We have a huge subscription in our newsletter. We are talking often with engaged artists, but also we're trying to collaborate, because we can't tackle climate change alone. So we're trying also within the communication with specific topics or problems, collaborate with other NGOs who are experts in their fields, if either it's about biodiversity or urban development initiatives and projects with whom we can join forces. We are organizing public events. We are organizing a lot of community meetings, especially in Bratysława and outside on the east of Slovakia and Košice, but also workshops, debates, talks, where we are trying to be as open to public as possible, so that everyone can come in, and we are trying to use that space to engage with people in a more personal way, to actually talk to them. We, from the experience of running these kind of meetings for almost a year now, we see that people usually are coming because they don't have anyone to talk to about these problems in their surroundings. They're affected by it, they're thinking about it, they're learning about it, and they want to do something more, but they don't know how and which route. So really, these kind of public events offer us and them the chance to meet face to face and really talk. And of course, at the end, we are trying to build up a grassroots movement in Slovakia, a climate grassroots movement. And right now we are focused on bringing together or building strong communities, which we feel is a first step, how people can engage maybe beyond their individual solutions within their everyday life, like recycling, trying to buy at zero waste stores, trying to use different ways of transformation. We believe that actually communities or building communities within the climate movement is a very nice step, how you can try to show people, okay, this is what you can do as an individual, but this is what the systemic problems are, and we need to tackle them through policies and through politics. And those communities are somewhere on that line, so it can actually help you understand that, okay, if I join with someone, there are things bigger than my own household that I can do, even if it's tackling local environmental problem, or just meeting once a week to talk about your favorite climate book that you're reading at the moment, or just trying to build up a community garden and a composting system within your neighborhood. It offers people a different perspective, how they can actually join with others, collaborate, which is important part of climate, of tackling climate change. But yet, like I said, engage a little bit more. So those are basically the things, or these are the things that we think the communities are bringing to individuals. They're first of all bringing support, and talk a lot about that as well. But it's a lot about listening. It's a lot about people finding, maybe for the first time in their life, someone who is like-minded, who can help them maybe talk to the parents at home, or their siblings, or their grandma, who are really unaware of the problem, sharing perspectives and sharing also knowledge. Engagement, it offers the space to actually do something more, maybe a bit bigger, something in the public space, doesn't have to be demonstration, but do something with others and realize that, okay, this is actually how we need to change, to take it step by step and slowly focus our activities towards the systemic solutions that's going to be big and will require a lot of help and a lot of public attention in order to get implemented. And at the end, it brings visible impact, or more visible impact. I think everyone who went through those individual solutions at some point, at least I looked back and realized that, okay, I'm recycling, I'm not eating meat, I'm trying to use public transport or bicycle. But compared to the problems that we see, for example, this summer, it's a drop in the sea, and it actually helps to be with a group that can allow you to do bigger things, more ambitious things, do things that affect your surroundings, do things that affect your city, or do things that affect the way your country is tackling climate change. So yeah, this is basically what we are thinking of where we say talking about building climate communities. It's about sharing, it's about any idea, and it is about disruption, because bringing people together, either online or physically, creates more and more attention in the public realm. It brings more focus socially, also politically, for the subject of climate change. It makes the demand for the solution much more visible. And this is basically why we need to mobilize public and collaborate, because we need to show that there's enough people ready and willing to make the changes necessary in order to survive. So yeah, this is us, and if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Thank you very much for the invitation.